Exposing foster care. So, have I been sexually abused in foster care? Perhaps I have. But I've forgiven that past and moved on. To whoever who has hurt me in the past, I've forgiven you. I've moved on. I'm looking for new fun and adventures. There's really no point of holding on to any disappointments, any grudges, any anger, any resentment, any guilt for not knowing. It's time to dance and move forward. It's time to let go, start new relationships, forgive, and move forward. Definitely time for that. So I'm fortunate whoever has hurt me in the past that I don't know of, that they don't come forward in forgiveness and release their resentment, fears, and walk in peace and walk in joy and just enjoy life all around them. Enjoy the beauty all around them. Enjoy the wind, enjoy the blue skies, enjoy the birds. Yeah, just let go and have fun. You're forgiven. I forgive myself. So have I been mentally abused in foster care? Yes, majorly with fears of culture, fears of religion, fears of speaking out, fears of silence, the fear of death. There's many, many, many fears. But I too forgiven that and move forward. Wipe those fears away. I learned to dance. I learned to enjoy life. I learned to smile. I learned to laugh again. I learned to not take too seriously what people say and trust in the energy around people, whether it's light or dark, whether to walk away or to listen more intently. Yeah. So thank you, foster care, for that. Mentally, it has scarred me, but the scar is treated and let go. And now I'm living every day in peace and every day now I'm living every day in peace and every day surrounded by beauty, no matter where I go, surrounded by appreciation, by joy, by laughter, whether alone or with people. I'm spending the rest of these days in peace, and I'm so excited for that. So that scar may have scarred me, but it didn't kill me, it didn't bruise me, it didn't break me. It just made me laugh. So to the darker moments of foster care, I would say the nights, the days I went without eating and going back to this one foster home. I stayed in, very religious, for 2.5 years. That's when everything really spiraled up, which appeared down at the moment, but it was actually spiraled up and broke through from religion and broke through from control and all of that stuff. So that was back in between 2000 2001. So yeah, the way they punished me is sending me either to the basement, because I had dreams and nightmares about that, because not all of them are like, I'm very cautious about how the dreams and nightmares turned out, because not all of them turned out to be true. They were just mind games in my mind. So with that said, in the dreams, they sent me down into the basement with no food, and I was hungry, but they wouldn't allow me back up to the main level to talk to anybody. They just sent me down like a horrible person. That's a form of punishment. One of the names they called me all the time, they never called me Adrian by my first name. They called me Clem in French, which is, I've come to look at it throughout the years, and its understanding is not there yet, or a slow one, or slow to understanding. But look at me now, ba-ba-boom. I am way, way, way ahead of the world. I've always been way ahead of the world in understanding. So do not call me slow to understanding. Do not call me Clem. Do not call me any kind of degrading name, because you have no idea of what's going on in here, of what's going on in the unseen. And I have no idea of what's going on in there and what's going on in the unseen. So yeah. So moving on from that. That was probably one of the most unfortunate circumstances in foster care, is being called Clem and not called Adrian. It's like the book, The Boy Called It. He was called It. In this atmosphere, I was called Clem. I wasn't called Adrian. Well, now I am Adrian. So on the flip side of the dark side of foster care, of that not eating, some religions call it fasting, and some people don't eat or drink for days. I recommend, if you're not going to eat, that you drink a lot of water, drink a lot of liquids, so it keeps your mentality more focused on what's around you and not in a delusionment of like, oh, okay, I'm so carefree, I don't know what's coming, but I'm going to allow everything, because you don't know what we're allowing coming through. So some of this topics are really dark, so I'm just going to have a little dance break and shake it off, because I am free from all that and I appreciate it, and I'm going to have fun.
Sigo picando cielos, not waiting as the doctor tells me my life, not waiting till my nerves are shot then cry. Time ticks slowly, surely alive, 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 alive. Speaking up what's enjoyed in my life, you're all here cause I'm coming alive. Don't wait until you learn to ignite. Come alive, 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 alive. Splashing every day within, within, splashing and dancing around again, hooray. No more feeling down, double look around, splashing through the skies again, again.
So I don't know much dance moves, but I'm learning. And thank you. Please comment in the video. So I thought I was taking a video, but I ended up taking a picture. It was silent for a moment, but now there's saxophone, which is fine. But that means I gotta speak a little louder. Oh, do I? I'll just speak a little bit closer to the camera. So behind me is Casting Shadows. That's Robson Street, and this is a nice area of park. Extremely grateful for changing the scenery, changing the destination, changing my thoughts. Yeah, so changing the scenery, here I am, waterfall behind me. Just took a few steps over. So one of the reoccurring nightmares I had in the past, I've let go of years ago, was me being asked to take care of this mother as she has puppies in this barnyard, and there's 2 Rottweilers on the bottom of the barnyard wanting to come in, but I was told to guard the doorways. Well, it seems like a movie actually. There was a thunderstorm happening and lightning. I was on a farm in Saskatchewan, And the thunder was so loud, it shook the door. The doors are very loose to begin with, but it shook the doors open, and the Rottweilers came in as I was upstairs with the mother and her babies. They came in and killed all but 2 of the babies right in front of me. And I ran out screaming in the thunderstorm. And I remember running in the rain and running in the lightning and thunder and just fears all around because I don't know what just happened. I don't know how much trouble I was going to get in. But that's all I remember, and that's where the dream ended. And I remember having that recurring nightmare over and over and over again. But I realized throughout time with that nightmare, there was really nothing I could have done to prevent that. There was also nothing I can do to go back to the people, for the people that put me in that responsible action back then when I was a child. Had no control of any circumstance of what was going to happen. So maybe the dreams ended as in that it was not my fault, it was not their fault, there was nobody to blame as life took over. It was just a very scary circumstance in my eyes. But all is forgiven, all is let go. That was one dream of many nightmares. That was one nightmare of many nightmares through foster care. So I also like to say, in foster care, yes, I lost the people I originate from in this world at a young age, at 8 and 14. I was so distraught by it and so just shocked by the whole thing of grief as a child. After the mother figure passed away, I went silent for a week. I didn't talk to anybody. No foster brothers, no foster parents, no social workers. I didn't talk to anybody. I just kept very silent. So people couldn't tell if I was angry or upset or anything. But the unfortunate, very unfortunate, and very unfortunate thing that happened after that was I got sent to a psych ward for a week for believing I was going to hurt myself, for believing I was going to harm others, because I wasn't speaking. But I wasn't speaking because I didn't want to lash out on innocent people. I really didn't want to lash out on foster parents or foster children or circumstances or strangers where I was, because it had nothing to do with you. That death had nothing to do with the atmosphere. So I was silent and like strength to move forward. I wasn't silent because I was crazy. So yeah, I spent a week in the psych ward, and in psych ward I ran through many tests, like ink block tests and other tests, and it turned out through the doctors, they had a lot of one-on-one meetings throughout that week. It turned out I was sane, and I was there because of requests of others. I wasn't crazy, and they don't know why I was there to begin with. I was totally healthy. I was actually playing volleyball with most of the tenants. I was more disappointed of not playing volleyball than anything else. Yeah, so that happened in Prince Albert. 1 week in the psych ward when I wasn't psycho, like Rose Nyland off Golden Girls says. You're in psychiatrist's office because psychiatrist means psycho. I laugh at the whole situation. They're not psycho. I wasn't psycho. It's just very unfortunate circumstances. And forgiveness. Bye. So visitation in foster care. Visitation as in who am I and who are the siblings around me allowed to visit during the process of foster care. I was allowed to visit the lady who brought me into this world, the mother figure, 3 times before she passed away. Which leads a lot of questions, more questions than you could ever think of. Like, Why was I put in this system? Why didn't you try to take me out? Why was I forgotten about? Why did you leave so suddenly? But I learned that those whys turn into why does it matter? Because now I'm so energetic, so full of life, so appreciative, and so I'm so happy. I'm so joyful of life. And with all those tragic circumstances, it doesn't, in the long run, it really doesn't affect me, because I learned that none of that matters. It really doesn't matter. You can write it down in documentation. You can write it down in your textbooks. You can write it down for university classes. But as a foster child of 18 years to 25 to 30 foster homes, all that tragedy in my life, it comes out to it doesn't matter. It comes out to it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And life is what you make it. Life is building new relationships and keep on starting anew. And eventually you find those relationships are a reflection of you. The good sides, the great sides, the fun sides, the positive sides, and you want to carry it forward with that. And you have fun with life. You try not to reflect too much on what has happened in life, and just have fun moving forward.